Miguel Solis, thank you so much for your time. I guess my question really is, why do you want to be mayor, and what was the deciding factor for you to run?
I mean, the biggest reason why I'd like to be the next mayor of Dallas is because for the past 10 years, I've been serving the Dallas Independent School District, recognizing that despite all the progress we've made in our public education system, there are other elements in our city that directly impact the future of this city that have got to be addressed today. Housing, public transportation, jobs that pay a fair wage, public safety. And when I think about these issues and what they mean to the future of this city, we need a mayor who on day one can step in, who has the experience getting results at the local level, making an impact in people's lives, that can address these issues today.
Was there any tipping point, any real deciding factor that said, I've got to do this?
You know, for me, I think this has been sort of something that has manifested itself over the course of a few years. I've been making big changes in DISD, and as you make those changes and you see the possibilities of local government, and then you recognize that there are other issues that have got to be addressed, and then a seat opens up, you know, I took a hard look at this and I said, I think I'm uniquely positioned. In fact, I know I'm uniquely positioned to be the leader our city needs today.
Why should voters trust you over the 8 other candidates who will be on the ballot?
This race is about one thing and one thing only. Who has the experience getting results at the local level in local government, having to deal with local politics, all while bringing people together? That's the leadership that I've exhibited for over half a decade as a Dallas Independent School District trustee and as a former president of the board, while also managing a $1.5 billion budget and making big decisions for the future of our city. That's the type of mayor we need. Someone who can step in on day one, has already proven that they can get results for the citizens of our city, and has bold, fresh ideas that can move the city forward.
So, day one, if you are elected, what is the first thing you want to accomplish?
So on the actual day one of being elected?
Well, just what is your first, what do you want to accomplish? Very first thing, first goal.
Yeah, well, the first goal is we got to make sure that we have a bold agenda set. And the mayor has a unique opportunity to be able to set the council agenda, to create the committee structures, and then put big ideas on paper and get government working for people. So the first 3 major things I'd like to focus on is a push to universal pre-K, making sure more kids in our city get high-quality pre-K. And we can do it by helping DISD and RISD identify new facilities that we can place kids in. Number 2, I want to make sure that we continue to make jobs available for people in our city that pay a great wage and are 21st century jobs. So as mayor, I'll work to work with other jurisdictional institutions to grow programs like our Collegiate Career and Vocational Training Academy. That's a unique partnership between DISD, DCCCD, and institutions like DPD and others. Number 3, I really want to make sure that we focus on closing the trust gap between our police and our community. And the best way we can do it is start looking at ways to increase pay for police officers, making sure that they have things like low-interest loans, that they can live in the city of Dallas, because many of them don't, and grow our own police force as well, taking kids from our city and helping them become future police officers. Those are 3 major things I want to get accomplished, and we'll start getting to work on that on day one.
And those are your top 3 priorities?
Those are my top 3.
And so how are you going to go about achieving them? Because, I mean, it sounds like, that's going to cost money.
Some of it.
So let's talk about public safety first. It's on a lot of people's minds. Many people believe the city needs more police officers, and they need to be paid more, even though they just got a salary increase to $60,000 as starting pay. So how do you make that happen, given the constraints on property taxes that are likely to be passed in Austin?
So I have a robust approach that I'd like to take when it comes to ensuring that our police officers are supported and that we can build trust between police and community. On day one, I'll create a Citizens Budget Review Commission. And what we'll do is we'll take a look at the budget and identify ways to be able to free up monies, if that exists, to then give our police officers more money. But the problem with budgeting, as I've been doing in DISD, is anytime you increase somewhere, you've got to decrease somewhere else. And so we as a community have to have that conversation and be willing to at least allow for the debate about whether we should be raising pay even more for police officers. But we've got to also help our officers stretch their dollars further. So I'd like to look at economic development dollars in the budget and figure out if we might be able to offer low-interest loans to police officers who want to live in this city, in our city, and serve our city. And if we can issue some loans, I'd like to do that, and then forgive those loans over the course of a decade if they have good service. Going a step further, let's work with DISD and RISD to carve out slots in some of our greatest schools for police officers' kids, because if police officers are willing to put their lives on the line every day for us and the citizens of this city, we should be taking care of their kids. And then lastly, let's grow our own police force. There's a program right now at Carter High School. It's a collaboration between DISD and DPD. I'd like to create that program in each quadrant of the city so that we don't have to worry about recruiting and retaining police officers. We're growing them from our own people.
You talked about workforce readiness. And so you're talking about working with the Workforce Commission. They already have programs targeted at this. Is that what you're talking about?
So I would certainly want to continue to be a great partner to the Workforce Commission and utilize whatever authority that I will have as mayor to continue to advance Dallas's interest through the Workforce Commission. But I'm going a step further. There is an innovative partnership happening right now between big institutions, educational institutions, and corporate institutions in our city. It's the collegiate career and vocational training academies that now exist at every single high school in the Dallas Independent School District. This partnership is currently between the Dallas Independent School District, DCCCD, and 75 industry partners like American Airlines, Southwest Airlines, AT&T, and even the City of Dallas, like Dallas Police Department. I'd like to grow that industry partnership from 75 and double that. And I can do it as mayor with the bully pulpit, bringing businesses from all across North Texas to the table. And if we bring businesses to the table and get them in high schools, helping them shape the curriculum of their future workforce, that is a long-term solution that's going to be a great boon to the Dallas economy and give people opportunities that they never had before.
And then you talked about expanding pre-K. At how much cost will that be? Will there be a cost? Because you talked about city buildings that are not being used, is that right? So that's got to come at a cost, or is that something that DISD would pay for?
The biggest thing that we can do in this city to ensure that we have long-term success is to make sure that kids in our city have access to high-quality pre-K. Because if they have that and they get a great first start at education, their chances of success go through the roof. So the problem right now is that there are about 10 to 12,000 3- and 4-year-olds who do not get state-subsidized pre-K, want to receive it, but can't because DISD and RISD don't have any more facilities. So I'd like to build a collaboration between the city and these institutions and identify real estate that's underutilized currently in our city. And then what we do is we build a partnership tapping into state funds, working with the DISD and RISD to tap into their additional funds they'll get from a new House bill, and we can utilize those funds to then place kids in underutilized facilities in the city.
That's part of HB 3, or is that a separate bill?
So there are two, HB 3 and then a previous bill that unlocks an additional $1,800 if you create partnerships between government institutions.
Let me ask you about property tax reform, because people all over the state, obviously here in the DFW area, have complained about rising property taxes because the value of their homes has gone up. And even if cities and counties and school districts try to hold the line, their valuations are still going up. So how sensitive are you to that? And if you are elected, can you assure people that you're not going to cause them to see, skyrocketing bills on a continuing basis?
I can absolutely assure the people of Dallas that I'm going to take their economic interest to heart. And when it comes to taxes, I in no way intend on seeking to raise anybody's taxes. In fact, I want to work to try to ensure that they can live and remain living in this city. Now, we've got hope on the horizon with this new House Bill 3, that's going to provide comprehensive school finance reform. Property tax owners in Dallas have the potential to see a significant decrease in their property taxes because this House bill will give relief to things like the Dallas Independent School District. And so if that bill passes, we're going to be in a significantly better spot. But we need to go a step further. We should leave no rock unturned in this city when it comes to injecting new revenue. And things that are being talked about right now are things that I'd be open to consider studying, like potentially turning over our airports to private operators, which would inject a significant amount of revenue. We're talking conservatively $5.3 billion. But all I want to do is I'd like to study this idea, and there's $750,000 in federal grants that we could go after right now to study the concept of injecting new revenue through private operators and our airports.
What about the hotel that the city owns downtown, the Convention Center Hotel?
Yeah.
Is that something that you're open to?
I am open to exploring every idea we can explore to ensure we find new streams of revenue and we relieve taxpayers from the burden they are currently carrying that ultimately hinders our future success and their ability to be able to remain in the city.
Speaking of funding, the campaigns, all the mayoral campaigns had to file their campaign finance reports, and you raised a significant amount of money, and I'm just wondering, what do you think that says to voters along with the people who've endorsed your campaign?
From the very beginning of our campaign, we made a bet that if we invested in people, if we listened to people, if we learned from people, and then included them in our campaign, that this would all work out. And these numbers are indicative of the fact that that gamble paid off. We saw donations from over 600 individual contributors, from $1 all the way to the $5,000 maximum. And the reason why people are investing in this campaign is because they recognize that experienced leadership getting results for the people of our city with a bold set of ideas and a new approach is what is going to change this city for the better. And they want to be a part of it, and we're excited about the number that we posted, but it's indicative of a people-powered campaign, and we're going to continue to take that message to voters every day until Election Day.
Miguel Solis, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Jack.
your time.
Thank you.
And good luck to you.
Thank you.